Let's talk about J.J. McCarthy and the Minnesota Vikings. Before we get into his play this year with this organization, I want to acknowledge a couple things here with J.J. The plan last season with Minnesota, sign a veteran quarterback, bring in a young quarterback, and let him develop behind that veteran. That veteran quarterback was Sam Darnold, who has bounced around the NFL a lot. Drafted by the New York Jets in the first round, they traded him to the Carolina Panthers. He left Carolina, had some good moments in Carolina, had some solid moments with the Jets. He became the backup quarterback in San Francisco. Then he comes over to the Minnesota Vikings. So that's 3 destinations before he came over to this organization. But with J.J. McCarthy here, he did not have the regular rookie season. He tore his meniscus in the preseason. He was not able to play in the regular season last year. He could not even practice because of that meniscus injury. So he could not get first, second, and third team reps. Now, he wouldn't have gotten first team reps last season anyway. That was going to go to Sam Darnold. And the way that Sam Darnold played last year, he was not going to touch the field. But he still could not go out there. He could not get live action. Now, this year, they gave him all the reps in the offseason. First team reps with Jordan Addison, Justin Jefferson, Jordan Mason, Aaron Jones, and TJ at the tight end position. They're saying, hey, JJ, this is now your team. The quarterback behind you, it is going to be Carson Wentz. They let Sam Darnold walk. He went to the Seahawks. And in today's game, he just had 4 interceptions against the Rams. But the way that Minnesota played last year with Sam Darnold was phenomenal. They lost to the Rams in the regular season, and they lost to the Lions, and that was pretty much it. They were tremendous headed into the NFL playoffs, and we know what happened against the Rams. Sam Darnold was sacked and beat up a lot in that matchup. He got sacked 9 times. The offensive line needed pieces. So the Minnesota Vikings, they're in a weird spot right now. We can bring back Sam Darnold, give him a 3-year deal, which he just got with Seattle. Or we can let him walk. We can build around this rookie quarterback and hope for the best. So that's what they did. I got a lot of comments in my last video about Minnesota. Why didn't they just go out there? Why didn't they just bring back Sam Darnold? They wanted more money so they can actually build out this roster on the offensive line, so they can bring in names like Ryan Kelly and Will Fries. Now, all that being said, J.J. McCarthy did not get the regular rookie season. It wasn't ideal. Headset in your ear. You watched the tablet. You couldn't take reps. The way that he has looked this season with this team is inexcusable. Usually, quarterbacks selected in the first round, and it's not always the case, but usually this does happen. When you get selected in the first round as a quarterback, especially within the top 10, the top 15, you're going into a bad situation. You're going into a bad organization. That's not the case here with JJ. You have one of the most talented wide receivers in the game in Justin Jefferson. Most teams in the NFL, Jordan Addison will be a number 1 wide receiver on those rosters. You have him, talented player. TJ at the tight end position, he's not the same tight end that he once was before he tore his ACL, but he's not a bad player. He's a safety blanket, especially on third down. You have Aaron Jones, very good veteran running back, has dealt with injuries over the last 3 years of his career, but last season was a very good running back with Minnesota. Then you bring in Jordan Mason. You revamp this offensive line. You bring in Donovan Jackson, who has been a very good player at the left guard position as a rookie. Christian did miss time this season. He suffered a leg injury last year in the regular season against the Rams. But over the last couple weeks, he's returned to form. He's one of the best left tackles in the game. Ryan Kelly has missed time this year. Concussions. I'm worried about him. He's still in IR, but he's expected to return within the next 2 to 3 weeks. You have Will Fries, Brian O'Neill. Not a bad roster on the offensive end. We've seen young quarterbacks be placed into worse situations and perform better. JJ needs to work on his accuracy. And this is something at Michigan that wasn't talked about enough. That Michigan team was loaded with Coach Harbaugh. They ran the football at a high clip. They worked off a play action to take that pressure off of JJ, and they played amazing defense. That is how they won games. When you look at Caleb Williams at USC, he had to be the guy. In order for them to win games, Caleb Williams, he needed to have 4 to 5 passing touchdowns every single week. Jaden Daniels, LSU, tremendous talent around him. But in order for them to win games, they needed Jaden Daniels to be that guy on a week-to-week basis. The same with Bo Nix at Oregon. Had a bunch of talent around him. They needed Bo Nix to come up and make some clutch plays every now and then. With J.J. McCarthy, he played behind a great offensive line at Michigan, 2 phenomenal running backs and a great defense. He had Roman Wilson as a wide receiver. He's a receiver right now with the Steelers. They never asked him to be the guy every single week. And when times got tough on third down, JJ make a play. And when he did make a play on first down, they ran the football. And this is what bothers me with the selection of JJ McCarthy. I don't know if he will ever be a franchise quarterback with this team. You can say that about any player selected in the first round that's at the quarterback position. But when you look at his situation at the college level compared to others, it is drastically different. The reason why Kevin O'Connell, the rest of his coaching staff, and the front office fell in love with JJ, he's a big quarterback with a big arm. He's 6'3", 220 pounds, and he can move around. We see the athleticism. He did it against the Bears in week 1. He has some athletic plays against the Atlanta Falcons. But this is the one thing with JJ, and I think that this is fair. You can make the case that he's injury prone. You missed all of last season with a torn meniscus injury. You missed time this season with a high ankle sprain. And you missed a lot of games that is hurting your development. And he's having so many over and under throws this year. Now, Justin Jefferson had a lot of patience in week 1. He didn't have that patience today against the Bears in the rematch. He was upset. He wanted to slam his helmet. He just put it on the table. He was just shaking his head. And the same with Jordan Addison. These players are constantly getting open. And JJ, he is skipping passes. He had Justin Jefferson on a beautiful out route in week 1 against the Bears. He was late. Goes for an interception. That is basic football. If you're late on that out route, 9 times out of 10, it is going to go for an interception, and it went for a pick 6. You still won that game. JJ was phenomenal in the fourth quarter. Similar to what happened in today's game against the Bears. First, second, and third quarter, he's terrible. Fourth quarter, especially late in the game, he turns it on. It needs to be more consistent. The accuracy issues were a problem at the college level, but they didn't ask him to be the guy. Kevin O'Connell is asking him right now, can you give me 42 pass attempts in a game against Baltimore, which is way too much? Can you give me 32 pass attempts in the game against the Bears, which is way too much? In the games that he's won this season, against the Bears in week 1, he was 13 of 20. 20 passing attempts. Against the Lions a couple weeks ago, they won the game 27 to 24, 14 to 25. Right now, this young quarterback, he can only handle 20 to 25 pass attempts a game. That's it. You have to run the football with Aaron Jones and Jordan Mason. You have to lean on this offensive line. He isn't good enough. You have to play him the way that they played with him at Michigan. Game plan around that. Run the football as much as possible. Work off a play action and give him routes underneath. You can have some deep routes every now and then. But until his accuracy gets better, this is what J.J. McCarthy is going to look like. And I wasn't the biggest fan of the selection. To me, he was more so of a second, third round pick. Not because of lack of talent, but because the way that Coach Harbaugh game planned around him. When you have that guy at the college level, you will let him go out there and you will let him have 35 pass attempts a game. Michigan didn't do that. And now we're seeing why. The injury concerns, that's a big problem with J.J. McCarthy. That's a part of it. And he is so inconsistent. The one thing that you don't want to do is squander the opportunity that you have right now if you're Kevin O'Connell and you're in the front office with the Minnesota Vikings. You have all those tremendous playmakers on the outside. They're getting older. Now, they're not super old right now. They're not in their late 30s. But they're not getting any younger. And the same with this defense with Brian Flores. Brian Flores is a tremendous defensive coordinator. The skill position is set. The defense is set. But your quarterback is not. You're wasting years right now with Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison for him to figure it out. And if he never figures it out, those are just wasted years with those players. And we've seen wide receivers in the past that get upset with certain quarterbacks and they request a trade. I don't see Justin Jefferson doing that, but it's important to bring that up. And I don't agree with Justin Jefferson going out there and showing his frustration, but I understand where he's coming from. The same with A.J. Brown. If I'm constantly getting open, I'm running these hard routes against these tough cornerbacks. Just hit me. I want you guys to understand something, how rare it is to get wide open wide receivers in the NFL on a consistent basis. They had a chance to defeat the Bears in today's game. They came back. They did lose this matchup 19-17. Special teams let them down. But JJ had the 2 interceptions. And Justin Jefferson is wide open. If you lead him up the field, it can go for a 50-yard touchdown. He was 16-32, only 150 passing yards. Last week against the Ravens, 2 interceptions, 1 passing touchdown. And Justin Jefferson, he did give up on a route that went for an interception. But we didn't see him do this with Sam Darnold. He didn't do this with Kirk Cousins. He came out early this week. He said that he has to get back to being what he used to be. When they went against the Buffalo Bills, he had the crazy one-hand catch with Kirk Cousins. The quarterback position was more consistent. And those players at this current moment are better than J.J. McCarthy. Now, Kirk Cousins, he looks washed up right now with the Falcons. But he was a veteran quarterback coming into this thing. I understand, be patient with J.J. McCarthy, and I said that early on this week, but you cannot have these mistakes that he's having right now. You have 6 passing touchdowns to 8 interceptions in 5 games with the talent that you have. If he doesn't get better throughout this season, you need to bring in another veteran option. Leave Carson Wentz alone. Do not bring him back. And that's no shade towards Carson Wentz. He was playing behind a terrible offensive line, but you know what Carson Wentz is. He's a deer in headlights against the blitz, strong arm quarterback. He's going to put the football into a dangerous situation constantly. You need to bring someone in that has veteranship, that can control the pocket, move around, and get the football where it needs to be. It's insane to really think about this. They had Daniel Jones on their practice squad, and look at how he's playing right now with the Colts. And I'm not saying that Daniel Jones is going to be their guy for the next 5 to 10 years. I understand quarterback development. But this is too much too soon for this quarterback. Considering the fact that all of last season, he couldn't work out. Headset in his ear, tablet in his hand. That is not ideal for a young quarterback. So they're going to have these struggles. This is a lost season for the Minnesota Vikings. And I said this when they lost against the Chargers a couple weeks ago on Thursday Night Football. Even though Kevin O'Connell, to me, is a very good head coach, he's starting to really get underneath my skin. When it's 3rd and 1, run the football. Stop being cute. Working off play action, trying to sub these play action bootlegs, trying to have those shootouts down the field with Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison. Just run the ball with Aaron Jones. Run the ball with Jordan Mason. That's why you made a trade to bring Jordan Mason in. You invested all this money in this offensive line. Ride with your offensive line. And use J.J. McCarthy and his athleticism. This is what he did against the Lions. This is what he also did against the Bears in week 1, late in the 4th quarter. But the accuracy right now is the biggest issue. He can read certain coverages. He's looking off safeties. He's seeing receivers open. He's throwing it to them, but he's just overthrowing them. I'm rooting for J.J. McCarthy, and the same with the Minnesota Vikings. Ultimately, do I think that this thing will work out? It's going to take a lot. It's going to take a lot of work with Kevin O'Connell. I think that he will turn things around, but it may take another year or 2. Accuracy is a hard thing to fix in the NFL. Look at what happened with Josh Allen and the Bills. Year 1 was tough. Year 2 was a little bit better, but he still had accuracy issues. Year 3, he took that jump. And JJ's year 1 is not his year 1. His year 2 is his year 1. This is basically his year 1. He didn't get to play last season. So now we're basically essentially working with a rookie quarterback, even though he's in his 2nd season. You have to keep that in mind. But if he's willing to put the work in, and I think that he is, I think that long-term Minnesota would be in a good spot. If this doesn't work out, it's a good chance that Minnesota may move on from Kevin O'Connell. This type of decision right here may get you fired. Most owners, they look at it from this standpoint. We were consistently good, playoff good, with Kirk Cousins, Sam Darnold. And now we're not making the playoffs this season. We still have some games left, but they're 4-6. You've lost to the Bears. You did beat Detroit. We'll see what they do against Green Bay. But it's tough right now. With Detroit, as I record this video, leading the division with Chicago. Then you have the Packers. 4 teams, statistically right now, mathematically, they can't make the NFL playoffs. So unless the Packers take a massive step back or the Bears just lose after the rest of the season, it is going to be hard for the Minnesota Vikings to push themselves into playoff conversations. But if JJ performs better, Kevin O'Connell gets what he wants. But let me know in the comment section below, how do you feel about JJ McCarthy? And do you guys believe that he could be a star with this organization? If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. If you like video, hit the like button. Most importantly, I want each and every last one of you guys stay safe, stay positive. Thanks for the video, guys. God bless. Peace.